All right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah. Coming with a short message. Do a little running to take care of business this morning. And I just come to you just to drop a little something in a short video. Uh, all went well yesterday at my youngest sister funeral. Everything went well. Um, and where Sister Deborah is at is pretty much where she was at yesterday. I'm where exactly where Yah wants me to be. Um, let me take off this seatbelt because I'm not driving. I will say to you all that I gave some thought last night about how we are speaking on this level of something is happening and something is going on. What's beautiful about people making that statement is they call it, they can feel something. I like that because I think the truth of the whole matter, the day in which we are in, if you can't feel this day ain't meant for you to even know what's about to take place before you. I think individuals who's are actually crying out about the way they feel it. I think these are the true people who are actually speaking on something that's taking place in this world today, and they're taking it a step further by expressing that they feel this thing. It's a feeling they have. I love that. I really love that because to me, that's what it really is. But you got others walking around, like it's the best day that ever happened, uh, the day that we are in. And to me, to be able to behold the reality of what's actually taking place in this world, it's no way we can stand back and act as if all is well, everything feels good. No, there's a feeling, y'all. And it's not a feeling of scared or frightened or good. It's a feeling to just like a warning. It's a feeling like a warning feeling to let you know that things are actually taking place. And like I say, it bothers me because I notice you don't hear very many speaking on it. But lately, in the last 5 days, that's all I hear. And I love that because it allowed me to realize that there are individuals out here feeling that this day is not the same. Something is actually taking place. But then you have the other people who only believe that something is happening when there's chaos on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, or even CNN or on the news. That's the only time they want to feel that something is actually happening. Those are individuals who's not set up in the spirit realm. They only can feel something based on what they can see. That's the only way their feelings kick in because of what they see. But this feeling that I speak of, it's a feeling not based on what you see, because you want so bad for someone to see what you're feeling, because not only do I see it, I feel it. And it bothers me because I'm like saying, well, why is everybody acting like it's nothing going on? But this too is the will of the Father, because He's saying to me there's only certain ones it's going to feel. Because those certain ones is the one I'm going to allow to feel it based on seeing it spiritual and natural. The feeling comes to overtake you to bring you into a oneness that these things in which was said, these things in which one cannot see, it don't mean that it's not taking place. It's actually taking place because now it's tapping in to the feeling. You can hear it, you can see it, you can hear it and see it in the spirit realm. You can hear it and see it in the fleshly realm, but until it applied to that feeling, you have not seen, nor have you heard. So I'm grateful to be able to behold a few people, and it's just a few, but that was good enough for me because I noticed you don't hear too many people talking about that. And I know that the connection to that feeling that I have has to do with me knowing what is taking place in the spirit realm and in the flesh realm. Now it's touching the feeling, the feelings of both realms. And this is why I know things are taking place. And it doesn't matter if people are able to feel it. It doesn't matter if they're even able to see it. Everything is not created for you to see it. Everything is not created for you to hear it. Everything is not even created for you to feel it. It's not meant for you. So, with that being said, my topic is don't speak for me. Don't speak for me. You all have this. I think he's a Middle Eastern. I don't know if he's Arab or Iran. He might be Iran. And he forever speaking with his suit on, his black suit, white beard, and he forever speaking on our behalf as a Judah. And see, that's the realm that I don't like him speaking on, because that's the realm that I come down here to speak to speak out to show light, to speak spirit and truth, and to show them their wicked and their iniquity and their wrong thinking, their wrong doing, their wrong action. That's my mission. But to see him, and I'm sure he's an Iran. He might be an Arab, but whatever. He's over there in Middle Eastern, but he has a platform, and many people tune into his platform, especially Judah. But like I said, Judah is sick. Judah is sick. Judah is like that sick of a sick, so they would tune in. They tend to support anything that does things in the unrighteous way. They would never ever support the righteous realm. You see what I'm saying? They always been a people that support the unrighteous realm, and that's what they are today. They haven't changed. But what I will say, this man is speaking to Judah, and he failed to realize ain't all Judah lost, okay? Because this one here knows who I am, because my calling was to deal with Judah, okay? So therefore, when he's speaking to Judah, he's totally out of order, because he's that darkness speaking to Judah. But like I say, Judah always darkness. Judah, from the beginning, the very beginning, Judah's whole desire is to always go on the left. The father directs him to the right. No, I don't want to go to the right. I want to go to the left. So Judah was always known to go the opposite end of the father. Okay. So here this man, I don't know, like I said, I don't know if he's an Arab or he's Iran, but whoever he is, he's Middle East, and he forever talking about the God of the blacks, or he forever talking about how America did the blacks, and all the blacks, need to stick together and not let this Western world do this and do this and do this to us. He's the last person should be speaking for me. You know why? Because he's the enemy trying to speak to Judah. And I know Judah used to the enemy, taking the enemy side. Judah always take the enemy side. Y'all, let me tell y'all. Judah would never, ever, 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 ever take the side of the Most High Yah. Judah would never take the side of what is righteous. Judah would never take the side what is just. Judah tends to always take the left side. And it didn't start in this Western country. It started way before they even got into captivity, way before they got into slavery. You understand what I'm saying? This is why y'all always take that one, place it among Judah, and tell Judah it's sin, it's iniquity, it's idling, and it's a whoring, and it's everything Judah do. Y'all always put somebody in the midst to warn them. So I'm not nothing new. I'm just here in the midst of Judah to warn. And if I'm in the midst of that very one, It's okay, because that's how it's panned out. You know, he only dealing with a remnant that he's taken to Mount Zion for a length of time. Only that remnant. And he called, and it's, I ain't gonna say he called, but it's called a small remnant. Well, being a prophetess in the wilderness, okay, being a student of the Ruach HaKodesh, which is the student of the Holy Spirit, I truly believe it is a small remnant. But I do believe when he was speaking to Ezekiel, a lot of people don't really get it when he speaks to us as prophets. A lot of them don't, they really don't get it. Because when he's speaking to Ezekiel, he knew Ezekiel had no authority and no power, no nothing. You know, he was speaking to Ezekiel to speak to you and I. He wasn't speaking to Ezekiel to really speak to Israel at that time. He was speaking to Ezekiel to speak to me, to speak to you out there that has the ear to hear the Holy Spirit. That's what he was speaking to Ezekiel about. Because when I hear him talk to Ezekiel about the dry bones, I'm like, wait a minute, how you telling Ezekiel to speak to the dry bones? Them dry bones ain't listening to Ezekiel. It's nothing Ezekiel could actually offer the dry bones. One thing about Ezekiel, I believe 100% he was in the vision. You know, like unto Abraham. A lot of you all say when Abraham, he believed, or Abraham was righteous. No, righteous was Abraham. Belief was Abraham. See, when you say what Abraham was, you bent. You straight when you take it righteous to be what was in Abraham. Belief was branded in Abraham. Then you give the glory and honor back to the one that branded Abraham righteous, that branded Abraham to be believed. Because when Abraham, it said from, I believe it was Moses or whoever was speaking, Abraham believed. It wasn't that Abraham believed, because you also heard when the Father picked it up by saying, and I counted you. Woo, I like that, because he said, I signed you in righteousness. Praise the Most High Yah. Praise the Most High Yah. See, he checked that belief, because he knows that he gives those brands. And the brand in the spirit, he wanted you and I, which have an ear to hear, to understand Abraham was in a vision. So you can't take the vision and make a man all that answer. See, that's where a lot of y'all messed up at. Because you give the characters in this book all this power, this authority, and this glory, and this honor, and this praise, and you boast them, you lift them up, you praise them, and you fail to realize who's behind all this. He gets nothing. That's why you're messed up from the floor, because you fail to understand who's behind Abraham. So when Abraham, let me show you who behind him. When it said that Abraham believed, that wasn't Abraham saying he believed. That was, I think, who was that? Moses, whoever wrote the book, said Abraham believed. Were you there? Were you in the vision? No, you weren't. You weren't there. But if you're going to say words that Abraham believed, check. The Ruach will teach me that Deborah, you see me come behind him. What did he say? But I counted him for righteousness. Because he letting you know that he was counted in from the kingdom before the foundation of the world as a righteous one. How did he get to be righteous? Before Abraham came down here, the Most High Yah put a brand on his spirit. So his spirit was already branded under righteousness. So when the author, whoever said Abraham believed, I liked how the spirit of the Most High Yah came from behind that and said, nope, I counted him. That's how I see it in the class. I'm a student of the Holy Spirit. I hear the spirit of Yah. Okay. I counted him, Deborah. as righteousness. That's what he listed. He is branded as righteousness. He's counted as righteousness, and he's coming back as a righteous seed of mine. But the writer said, but Abraham believed. When you're in the vision, you're going to believe whatever you see in the vision. So it wasn't like he had the ability and that he was all that and something and he believed what the Father was saying. No, that's why the Father pulled up with righteous. Saying, no, I'll count you, bro, in as righteous, because before the foundation of the world, you was listed as my righteous seed. Okay, so I like that. But too many people, not too many, 99.9, look at the characters that plays the role in these books, all of them, and they lose out a closeness, a father, a protector, a keeper of he that is on the throne. They lose out because they focus and they put too much glory and honor on the characters. So when I was speaking of Ezekiel, when he was telling Ezekiel about the dry bones, no one ever heard my Father. No one don't know that's my Father. That's the Creator, the Most High Yah. He's showing you himself. And we miss out of seeing him because we thinking Ezekiel is speaking to the dry bones. No, go back to Ezekiel. If I'm not mistaken, it's Ezekiel 37, and he's speaking to Ezekiel, but he's speaking to Ezekiel in the what? The vision. So in the vision, he's telling Ezekiel how he's going to raise up an army of dry bones. He's going to put his breath, meaning back again, his breath in them. They're going to get up. They're heading to Mount Zion. That's where he's bringing them. So he's showing this to Ezekiel in the vision. But you would never know if you're so busy on what Ezekiel had to do. He didn't have to do nothing but sit his tail still and hear what the Most High Yah was saying. And if you ever have the sense enough to sit your tail still and hear what the Spirit is saying, you can hear the Spirit. And you won't be giving all the glory and honor to what Ezekiel was doing. And that's what has happened throughout this whole study guide that people have. They so in tune with the characters. Look how everybody in tune with Enoch. Look how they in tune with the fallen angels. Yeah, tell it like it is, sister. Preach that thing. Everybody so in tune with the characters, they done lost the Creator. The one we need to be right now on our knees crying to, thanking him for his excellence, his greatness, his perfectness, his wonderfulness, his all-knowing, all power. Oh no, we don't want to do that. But when we get into these books, we give these characters all the glory and all the honor and all the praise. Because we come from a flesh trying to dig into the spirit. You can't get there like that. You got to come from the spirit realm to get to the to tame the flesh realm that the spirit rules. That's another part that people missed, and they're gonna miss it because all are living. They give the glory and the honor based on all the characters. Every characters from in the King James 16, 11, 17, 11, 18, the King James New Edition, New King James, New Version, New World Bible, all these books. Y'all get these books and you read it, and I'm so grateful the Father taught me. They're just, Deborah, they're just a study guide. And I've been telling people that it's just a study guide. The reason why it's just a study guide because the true teacher was said to come. Here we are in the year 2026, and people are more ignorant than they ever been in the day in their whole living. They still ain't waited, tarried for the true teacher, for the comforter, the one to show us things to come, the one that's going to give us this power that Yeshua had. Y'all don't wait for that. You know why? Because you think your study guide is all that answer. That's why y'all meditate and y'all fascinated with all the characters. Right today, let me tell you what people fascinated with: the giants, the fallen angels, Enoch. No one is fascinated with this here right hand of the Father that's coming in to pull up. Oh, y'all ain't hey, oh, Father, if only they knew. You think people are afraid of that right hand and that stretched out arm? No. You know why you ain't afraid of that right hand and that stretched out arm? Because you think it was all about what Moses did. You didn't heard that the sea was parted so that the people can walk straight through the sea on dry land. You didn't heard the power that kept them by a cloud by day and what is it? Fire by night. Y'all done heard all the power of the Father, all his miracles, all his signs, all of his wonder, and you still today sit your tails around and have the audacity to tell his servant that the book you read is his word. That's how gone you are. 99.9. So when I hear this Middle Eastern pull up every time, I make sure I click him off. Always looking at his title. You cannot speak for me. Don't speak for me. Oh yeah, you can speak for all these other Judas, all these other what they want to be called Negroes, all these other what they want to be called black. Right when somebody call you black, let me tell you something. I'm gonna show you where you know something wrong with Judah, and Judah mind is not straight now. The first thing they should have fought against was the word black. That shows all the other nationalities, especially the whites, there's something wrong with you. They call you black and you accept it. Like it ain't nothing. See, you never fought for nothing righteous. Because righteous is something that has to be in you. And many of them don't have it because y'all know who you are. He know who you are from the kingdom level. Not he ain't worried about you on as the earthy level, meaning your flesh. See, y'all something else you ain't gonna get. Understanding that y'all is not concerned about your fleshly level, meaning your flesh down here on this earth. He only concerned about where his breath is held, and that's in your spirit. Because that comes back to him. Okay? So when y'all run around here clowning and acting a fool with your own nation, that's on you. You come up here with that mess, you're going to go down with that mess. And that's a race of people who ain't even gripped it. But when a people accept the word black as a people, you know the color. Just tell me if that's not slow. If you got the color black on the left and you got the color white on the other side, how is it that you call yourself black and you know that you don't look black? If you really wanted to do a brown or a light brown or a brown, no, y'all ain't gonna sit and fight for the right to be called what you should supposed to be called. You're gonna settle for black. This shows you, and a lot of people will think I'm wrong from speaking on the nation, but where you wrong is this. I was predestined, ordained, foreknew to come down here to speak among the brown-skinned people. So you out of bounds, okay? I'm right where I'm supposed to be. You out in the deep, drowning, never see dry land. I come to speak spirit and truth and bring that light out of all that darkness. So bringing the light out of the darkness will still show you a people that accept black as who they are is a people that's sick. And they ain't sick because they accept black only. It's the sickness of who they are. Even right here today, they want everybody to know who they are, but they fail to know who the Most High Yah is based on who he was. So look like you short on every stick. You short on every end. You see? But then you want somebody to recognize you, identify you, claim who you are, but then you still disrespecting the one that knows who you are, that created you and placed you under his order. So everybody else got to respect you on earth, but you have no respect for him that's in the kingdom. If that ain't something wrong with you, I don't know what is. See, people don't want to hear that because they can't put that puzzle together. Well, the puzzle is completed. You just still missing a million pieces from yours because that's where your mind and your heart is at. You missing all the pieces, but the puzzle is completed. So here this man, and now it's just really making a lot of sense why he come and make all these videos trying to tell black people to not let the Western world do this to you. All the Western world did this, they took your God, they did this, but wait a minute. The ignorance of Judah, the one that I come down to minister to, the ignorance of them is going to be the ignorance of how and who they're going to be in the days to come, because all of them think they're going somewhere. Just like they think they the color of a black. Bang. They think they black. Anything the European tell them, anything the white man tell them, they believe it. So that's how far gone they've been gone for a long time. This stuff, you guys, did not start when you got over here 400 and some years. Okay, being enemy with each other, because you can't come together at anything. You can't come on oneness. You can't come without killing and stealing and destroying each other. And you wonder why. And I know it. We can blame everybody else except for looking at ourselves. Why? We won't see ourselves. Just like all the characters in the Bible. You give all them glory and praise. Oh, they did. You even give Satan more glory than you give the man that created all things, including Satan. You won't give him no praise. You won't give him no honor. But you give Satan, you give the fallen angels, you give Enoch, you give Moses, you give everybody else. All these characters. That's all they are. But he that designed and created and molded and shaped them, you don't give him nothing. That's the sickness of a people. They've been like this. They didn't start when they went into slavery. They've been like this. So this guy is on here trying to tell us who we are and who the Western is and what they have done to us. Now you want to say something where y'all was the number one in line. You all were I would say the first one in line to bring us to this direction and put us in slavery and sell us. And then you went over there and took all the gold and silver and all the things we had over in the land that we own. You possessed them and put them in your land. So how in the rats behind are you sitting on nationwide television talking to slow black people, which I just like to say black people, because that's the only way they want to be accepted. Slow ones. Telling them to watch out for the Western when you was the first, your country, and you still feel that way about them. But now, because the country is trying to keep up chaos, this man is a part of trying to start a racial war. But he's trying to get us slow people stirred up, because it's easily to get Judah stirred up. Because Judah don't know when to fight and when to stand down. Because Judah ain't got the sense enough to know that. And women, sit y'all tails down. Judah men has messed your nation up from the floor up. So don't look for them to get right today. Don't look for them to correct nothing, to get nothing right, to do what is right. These men know who they talking to. They talking to the men of Judah that never, ever had the sense to stand up for nothing. They know it. That's why they can call them black. That's why they can call them whatever they want to call them, and treat them the way that they want to treat them. They had 2 cases of 2 young men that died totally illegal in what this country has done. Totally. You didn't see the black men stand up and be black men for nothing, especially. You didn't hear none of the Hebrew Israelite men who talking about we kings, leaders, and rulers. We the Lion of Judah. Sit your tails down. You ain't never been connected to the Lion of Judah. Because the Lion of Judah fights. The lion alone is the king of the jungle. So what would make you think that you some lion? What makes you think you some king in this world of your oppressors? What makes you think you a leader when you can't even lead your own household? You can't lead your tail out there to cut your grass and keep your community together. So what makes you think you a leader? That's why they get into it with these silly women, laddered with sin, grab them into houses and making them whores. They're whoring around, trying to make y'all the sick black. I would say black because that's the only thing y'all adjust to. Making you thinking that's the way y'all want them to live. That's what make them kings, leader, and ruler. But the 2 cases with the young men and many things, all these hangings and lynching, no, you don't see Judah stand up for nothing. For nothing. This young man who stabbed this young guy, that's not a just reason to stab someone. Fight would fight. But the more you hear the case, and they have the audacity to put the case out now so you can clearly see it was more than one. So now it turns it back into self-defense. Oh, Sister Deborah, no righteous, y'all. Don't think I don't. But if it's just between you and one, that's fine. Because the bigger you are, the easier you fall. I learned that a long time ago in school. So it didn't bother me. They didn't, no matter how big they were, they wasn't coming after me. Because they knew. I knew how to bring them down. So the bigger you are, the easier you fall. There's certain pressure point of the body that you can bring somebody that's bigger than you down. Don't ever let someone like David and Goliath. Yes, let me turn that upside down. First and foremost, David didn't defeat no giant. That was Yah that knocked the giant to his smithereens. See, when you want to give the credit right to the credit to where it's due, you turn that thing in the spirit realm and put it in place. Listening to these men in the flesh telling you what happened, you'll never find the righteous out of it. The righteous is this. Him taking a little rock and slinging it to a giant didn't kill a giant. You better know about my father's right hand and his stretched out arm. That's what knocked that giant to his death. And because you all never been taught about the right hand and the stretched out arm, you never learned that the power of the Father rules the whole heaven and the earth and underneath the earth and a bit up above the heavens. That right hand and his stretched out arm, who fought all David's battle. David didn't fight not one battle of his own. Israel and Judah, the tribes, never fought a battle. Y'all see? But see, y'all, you wants to be ignorant from the beginning to the end of the world. All battles was fought by that same right hand and stretched out arm of the Most High Yah. But all y'all never been taught that. Because you can't be taught. Judah cannot be taught. Judah cannot be taught. I am a grateful prophet in the wilderness that Yah would send the one to me that I can continue to speak like I speak, and I know they're being taught. They're given food. They're being given food for their spirit. Because Yah got his. And they are the one. Those are the ones that need to be spoken to. Because a lot of times you get on this devil platform, you're talking, you get people tuning in, they ain't number brick walls. And they have the nerve to try to say something out of their rectum, because that's all that comes out of their rectum. It's mess. Believe it or not, that's the same thing come out of their mouth. So they ain't talking to me about nothing. Okay? There's a difference between what I'm talking and what they saying. Okay? But back to this here man. He's on YouTube, and I know many a times you all will catch him and see him. I'm tired of Judah. Judah gonna listen to all the wrong one on the left anyway. That's why they ain't learned about my father. They learned about all the characters in their study guide and ain't learned the rats behind about my father. The creator, that's my father. The all power, that's my father. The all knowing, that's my father. The all greatness, that's my father. All anointed, all power, all authority, all excellent, all perfect, all good, that's my father. That many of you all out there ain't never, ever learned about him. That's why you can't, Sister Deborah can't find the body of Hamashiach. So I have to take on the body that I am, the part that I am, a pin needle, and run that race. Keep running it. Because it ain't over until it's over. Until Yah says, the King of all kings, say that it's over. So I got to keep speaking spirit and truth, bringing light out of the midst of darkness to a people that can't even find the difference between light and dark itself. So this man is on here, and I realize he's on here because that's how weak Judah is. His nation took all the things that we had as a people when we were in the promised land. They took it out, child, and took it to their land. And he has the audacity to tell us what the Europeans are doing to us in this Western world is unfair. And then talk about our God. Bro, what do you know about our God? Don't tell me nothing. Because it ain't nothing you can tell me. You about right. Because 99.9 of Judah you can tell anything to. Because they off the rocker. They'll believe anything. But it didn't start in captivity. These people were like this a long time ago. It didn't start in the promised land. These people was like this way before they even got into Egypt. They was in they ended up being in slavery in Egypt. But guess what? They were like this way before they were in slavery in Egypt. So I'm just showing y'all down on this earth acting a fool in such a midnight hour when you should supposed to be doing it right. Being right about this most high. Wanting more light than darkness. Wanting to understand spirit and truth. Many of you all don't even know how to repent. Repent also comes with a feeling. The reason why y'all can't feel it is because the spirit don't want nothing to do with you. Because the spirit itself comes with a feeling. It ain't just something to come into you and live in you and lead you and guide you and teach you, reveal things to you, comfort you, and give you that power, and then you're going to turn around and walk on this earth like you ain't got that feeling. Come on now. Somebody talk to me. People be on this devil platform teaching y'all stupid tales, and y'all they ain't got feeling, and you ain't either. And you just as excited about the words coming out of their flesh. Ain't got nothing you can feel. The Ruach HaKodesh, which is the Holy Spirit, comes with a feeling, people. Because it shows the flesh, sit down. Sit your tail down. And when flesh know how to bow down to its spirit, you got the Ruach HaKodesh. But 99.9 don't know nothing about that. Let me tell y'all something that happened to me yesterday. At the funeral, it was packed. The church were packed. A bunch of people having words to say over the pulpit about nothing. You know what? Let me tell y'all something I learned. In the last week, I learned this. You better be careful who in the midst of. You better be careful who you listening to and who you sit among. And you hear. Because I can hear in my ear now. Be careful. Because you might be entertaining the spirit of angels. And when I sat in that church full, and you had several people walking in as pastor this, pastor this, pastor this, pastor this, all these here so-called people dressed like they coming to a priest's funeral. And I'm like saying, truly somebody gonna say something. But I realized that how can anybody say something to the dead? Woo! When a person can preach a word and the people, the church is packed. Hear me now, hear me now. The church is packed, and all of y'all preachers and all of y'all ministers got a word to say, and all you got a word is for the dead that's living. Your words didn't do nothing for nothing and nobody but the dead. And I sat there and listened to them. Ain't nothing no one said to bring the people into seeking the Father, to bring the people in any type of feeling of emotions of repentance. This is with me. Let me just go on there. Let's say, for instance, they say, you can be the speaker. First thing I want to let everybody know that my sister went down as the sun going down early. She was 60. But even though the sun went down early, her spirit found peace. Peace in the sleep. That same sun that had risen decided to go down early. And I would say she's at a sleep that is called a peace. I think all and everyone go down to that sleep. Because it's when the trumpet is blown for judgment is where you pull up. And everybody worried now in their spirit. Spirit pull up, now it's time to take you where you need to go. It's no need in Yeshua coming and collecting all nations and then getting up there, sitting in his glory and then dividing the goats from the sheep. Where are you dividing them from? Where did they come from? Dividing the goats from the sheep. You wouldn't need to divide them if they already divided when they die. Somebody say something. It ain't nothing you can say. It ain't nothing you can say. So it's got to be a place where we sleep. A place of peace. No more pain, suffering, no more, none of that. But that got to be a place where everybody goes. And then after that, when that trumpet is blown and everyone is before, Yeshua's separating the goats from the sheep. But if they already in hell, where did you go get them from? To bring them up to be divided. We have to stand before the throne, people. What is the sense of I did this, I did this, stand before the throne, and I did this, I did this, I did this. Depart from me, you worker of iniquity. What did he get to go? Why did he get to go to your throne anyway if he's supposed to be in hell? So all this bull crap, they don't get it. They don't put pieces together in the spirit realm because y'all ain't in them to teach them. Too many people running their mouth. Y'all don't waste his time teaching your tale. He don't want nothing to do with you. He don't even want to come nowhere near your spirit because your mouth is constantly open, saying nothing. Feeding the flesh, not giving the spirit the time of day. So here it is. I'm at the funeral and I'm like saying, if I could just say to these people, I wouldn't be speaking to my sister who dead. speaking to that one to let them know it's time to go in the midst of the light. But before you head, take out the time to repent and head to the light. You shouldn't go out this door, and I'm speaking to the one. I ain't talking to the whole congregation. I will be addressing it in that way. So I'm sitting here at the funeral and listening to them talk. And I didn't hear nothing about the Father. Y'all, I didn't hear nothing about my Most High, y'all. He gets no glory no matter where they want to use him and sling him and throw him here and throw him there. He gets no glory in this whole sick world. Yeah, I said it. The world ain't going to give him no glories, but it ain't said that I can't, or I won't. Because you a fool and you a loose if you think I'm going to rumble with the world in that order. So what happened? Here we are at the funeral, and I realized nobody's saying nothing. How's all y'all getting up here to say something? You got 20 people or more representing pastors and ministers and deacon this and all that, and y'all ain't saying nothing. But then I realized we was at the funeral of my youngest sister. See, when you are spiritual rooted in Yah, and not so much as you rooted in him, but it's really him in you. He teaches you these things. I'm sitting up at this funeral. And I'm like listening to these people. And the reason why I say be careful in how you entertain strangers, because you could be entertaining angels. That's what I was, sitting in the midst of them. And all of a sudden, this one young man that in the last, I say 40 years, he was a pastor's son, and his name was Jeffrey. He always sing at any funeral or wedding that's in my family. His family stayed down from us when we were coming up, and he's a gospel singer, and he wore out the song, y'all. He sung, and the song was so fitting as far as the occasion of bringing people to song. I think music can also cause you to put your flesh down and your spirit. But then there's a lot of people that's dead. It's more about their flesh feeling than their spirit. So Jeffrey sung the song, but before Jeffrey sung the song, y'all hear me. All my babies there, all my sons and daughters and granddaughters, they all there too. This man gets up there, and Jeffrey's, I think, like 61. He's getting ready to sing. But he gave his little testimony about my little sister. He said, I remember when we were young, and I had this stick in my hand. And I was chasing Doris and hitting Doris with this stick. But then Doris' sister, Deborah, he called me, she came out. She ran over there, grabbed the stick from me, and was hitting me all the way home. And I began to say, now, how did I get in this conversation? How, what, how at a funeral did I get in the conversation? He just threw me all the way off. Everybody started turning around, looking at me. Everybody started looking at me. You know why? Oh, wait a minute. That's the sister that don't be around. That's the sister that don't hang around. But I was always the sister was non-tolerant and didn't take mess. Oh, was I the youngest, one next to the youngest? Yes. But I was the non-tolerant type of person. And a person would think that, oh, you just like that because you an old woman, you's an old fool. Because I can beat you at everything you think you are at your age 30, 35, 40. I can beat you at. And I know you might think that you can't or you won't or you ain't capable. Let me tell you, David wasn't capable of knocking the giant. But didn't he get a helping hand from Yah? That's just who I am. It wasn't when I got to be old. It was when I was young. Non-tolerant. He sat up on that pulpit and told all those people in that church that he went to hit my sister and with the stick. I came out and whooped his tail with that stick all the way home. Was I young? Yes. I think I shouldn't have been no more 8 or 9. But you don't hit my sister. You see what I'm saying? That's just who I always was. I was a one type of person that hung by myself. No, I had I had 2 brothers and 5 sisters. But I was a one man thing. When I said one man, M-A-N, not M-E-N. I don't go. You all want to fight me? Okay, here I come. Hold up. Let me get ready. I'll be down there. Hey, sister, y'all come. They finna fight me. No, I didn't do that. I went down alone. That's just all the time who I was. But I was shocked, y'all. And I'm trying to understand, how did I get up on that pulpit? How did who I was? And then that's when everybody's eyes all turning around. And did y'all know when he said it, I went into like a shock. And I can still right here today see people turning around looking at me, and everybody looking. You see? I wouldn't have never thought I would have heard something like that. I don't have nothing to do with what's going on. You see? But my name came across the pulpit. Going back to what I was saying, I should have been up across the pulpit teaching and preaching at that time, bringing light out of darkness. But let the dead bury the dead. So I was just there to represent, not to represent, to be in the midst of the family, because it was a family situation. But my name ended up on the pulpit anyway. So when that was done, he began to sing that song and rock the whole place with the song, because that's how good he sounded. But it's just the idea, it just threw me off. Now, all this time, my children was thinking my little sister was all this and that. And I was the bad person. See, I was put in the box. And as even more and more I get older, think about, Father, I just thank you for putting me in that box. Father, not putting me in the box, but allow me to stay in it. Because guess what it did? It made everybody I've went from elementary, high school, all the family members always see me to be the best one out of the whole family. So I'm saying to you, this is how it always been. When it came down to doing something, Booby can do it. 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 It was always me. But Booby didn't play. I'm grateful that the Father gave me the strength to remain in the box of their minds to be. And that's just your immediate family. The other family members, they always see you to be the angel. It's just those who got to put you in the box so they can feel good about who they are. You see. So I was just shocked that they brought me up out of all those siblings that was there. Everybody there, wait a minute, bro. Why me? You're 61 years old. Why me? All my other sisters sitting there, all my brother that's left, they sitting there, but why me? And it shocked me. It really did. But it made me realize something when I got home and went to bed. It made me realize that I have always been a stand-up type of person, especially for what is right. I was a fighter, but wasn't a fighter. You get what I'm saying? I was a person that would fight, that could fight, that knew how to fight. But I didn't start fights. I wasn't a person that one can say, when you fought this person, this person. No, I wasn't that type. But that goes back to what the Father says. Be careful in who you entertain. Because while you thinking you entertaining one thing, you could be entertaining something totally different. And I think that was the message that the young man was talking about. My sister, that was a funeral, but my name came in it. Why? As a person that stood up for my little sister toward him. But I'm trying to figure out, it still didn't make any sense. But then again, like I said, when I went to bed last night, I was thinking, just to understand where Yah always had me in his hand, and that I have truly been in his hand all this time. No matter what somebody might have said on the left, or somebody said on the right, or somebody said in the back and in front, there's always those individuals that make every last one standing around a liar. I like that. That's what I call the Father. The Father rumbles like that. I like how he rumbles like that. I do. I like the idea of the Father rumbling. I'm gonna raise this thing down. Oh no, that's crazy. Okay, trying to get some. No, that's too much sun. But Sister Deborah, just want to say to you all, don't let nobody speak for you. Don't let nobody speak for your nation, your people, Judah. These people can't speak for us. First and foremost, the two incidents that took place regarding the young black guy that got shot in the back and the young black guy who stabbed the European, the white guy, the young guy. I hate to say white and black because those are not the type of words I use, but that seemed like people in the world. That's all they can. How would he say it? That's why Yeshua said, I give them parables, Deborah. I give them parables. Because seeing, they ain't going to see it. They ain't going to see it. They ain't going to understand it. Just give them, whatever you can. But what I will say this, in both of those situations, if you ever think that whites or Europeans or believe that you are a people or that you've been justly done wrong, don't hear their words, baby. Behold their actions. And if you don't see their action in this country, shut your darn mouth about their words. It don't mean nothing that they see the wrongness of their nation. They see the wrongness of their people. It's when they stand in the gap, say, wait a minute, we can't have this no more. When they stand on the side of Judah, then you know they are for Judah. Same thing about the strangers. Strangers out there, you're not representing the Creator on your own side. It's when you stand with Judah or you on the side of the Father. I know you think you can have a personal relationship with him one-on-one. No. You still got to stand on the side of Judah, not on the unrighteous side of Judah, not on the side of those that's dead, but those that's living. Because when it's said and done, even back in Egypt, you never heard them tell you, but they were strangers that also left out of Egypt, you see, with Israel. There were always strangers detached to Yah's people, okay? But you have to understand, it's not that you connected to the people, you connected to what is righteous about the people. You get what I'm saying? And you have to know what is righteous about a people, you have to know Yah. You see? And Yah will let you know the righteousness about a people. Because when he comes, he's coming for a remnant that he knows his brand, that he has branded in their spirit, is righteous belief, faith, fear, and hope. Along with you, he's branded you for belief and faith. So you coming in to Yah that way. So you have to be able to connect to the remnant that has faith like you have, that has belief like you have. You get what I'm saying? That has righteous branded in them, that has belief branded in them. So the strangers must understand, when you see unrighteous, you stand on unrighteous and you act on unrighteous, because that represents who? The Father. It's not that it represents Judah or Israel or the true Jews or the blacks, as they would like to be called. It said, I represent the Father, and the Father is all righteous, and I represent him, and I stand in action to what he is and what he represents, and that is righteousness. It's nowhere you can stand with your nation because they're Europeans. It's when you stand on the side of Yah, which is righteousness. It ain't like you're saying that, okay, this. Standing on righteous is confronting unrighteous. Standing on righteous is confronting unjust. You see, it ain't saying that all these people, all this and all that. No. Yeah, if he got you branded with belief and faith, bring your tail on in with that. But recognize you got to stand still on righteous and just. And when you see it in the world, that's what you stand in. You don't go along with them because they white like you are, so you right. Or European, so y'all right, because they right. You don't go along with the multitude. But I love the way he got it. Oh, I just love the way this creator, how would I say, his swag and how he does things. Because he'll let you be a fool to the foolish of a fool of fools degree. And you thinking you going on in like everybody else. Oh, I'm saved, I'm full of the Holy Spirit, I'm this and that. But you ain't going nowhere but to the lake of fire like all the others. And I say this to any and every last one of you all out there. You don't stand together on anything based on Judah, based on Israel, or the true Jews, or the blacks. You stand on righteous. You stand on just, and not from the measurement of your flesh, but only through the measurement of the Spirit of Yah that rests in us. Now, what has also came out about the young man that stabbed him, he's wrong to stab with a fight, you and him fighting, or anything of that nature. But if anyone was added into the fight, you have every right to pull out your weapon, because now the fight is defending your life. But when you're fighting with someone that doesn't have weapons and you stab them, that's not right. But what I just found out was there were several of them. It wasn't just him coming after him. And that's when he went into defense mode, pulling his weapon out. That was the tape that they kept from, like I said, slow, dumb, Judas. They want to be called black. They don't want to be called Judah. They want to be called black because they think black fits them the best. All of those people, they sat there and hid that tape. That tape should have been the first thing out before even the trial. But they didn't show it. And that one was said to be on the tape. It was more than one. It wasn't a fight between him and the guy. It was a fight between several people against himself. And that's required you to pull out for protection. Then that would have made it legal. You see what I'm saying? Same thing with this man that shot the young man in the back. Europeans, white people, you're all embedded in all that unjust and unrighteous. And you can go on and play it till you can't play it no more. But your kids, your mama, your daddy, your husband, your wife, your aunt, your uncle, all of you all have already been judged by the Most High. Your days ain't gonna ever be right anymore. It's not right now. Many of you can't even find food to eat, bills to come together. You can't find your tomorrow because you lost yesterday, because you're so used to having everything your way. So if you embedded in all of this nonsense, like the young man's father was, and saying all this stuff that he's saying, he don't even know, he don't even understand. He's not too far from where his son is resting right now. He's not even too far from that. He's too ignorant to know that, but he's coming right behind him. And I, Sister Deborah, say, I hope y'all got something out of this message, because whether you did or you didn't, my purpose on this earth is to bring light out of the midst of all of this darkness. So whether you got it or not, I know that I have, and I did. And I'll be back at 8 p.m. Central Time. And I say unto you, shalom and shalom.